Despite cries from government officials and environmentalists, the Nanoose First Nation plans to cut down a patch of forest west of Nanoose Bay on Vancouver Island. The Douglas Fir Forest is home to wetlands and dozens of species, and environmentalists are saying some of the species are endangered. For more on this story, here's APTN's Wayne Roberts.
It's a chilly winter day in this forest, but some flowers are blooming. This forest is home to endangered species like the screech owl, and here stands a Douglas fir tree over 250 years old. The forest floor, meanwhile, is overgrown with sword ferns, and the wetlands is filled with plants which the Coast Salish people use for traditional basket weaving. All this in a patch of forest humbly called Lot 33. Environmentalists like Gary Murdoch treat this land like it's a piece of heaven.
We are in paradise. For me, personally, I can sleep at night.
Brent Edwards says he had no problems with the plans of the Nanoose First Nations to cut down this forest.
When they say it's an endangered ecosystem, it very well may be, except that parcel of property wasn't protected by the provincial government.
And so the Nanoose are moving ahead with their plans despite strong opposition.
Only a couple of ways that you can earn money or create an economy, right? You inherit it, you earn it, you save it, or you steal it.
Leaders with Nanoose First Nations say people in their community need to make a living.
We want to get into business, but we want to get into business as owners. Everybody's made enough money off of the natives. Now it's our turn to make our own revenue and help our own people.
Everybody's been logging on Vancouver Island for hundreds of years and logging millions and millions of cubic meters, and all we're logging are 15,000 cubic meters, which is about 500 logging truckloads.
Nanoose First Nations received their license to log the old-growth Douglas fir trees here 2 days before Christmas. And that isn't good news for Gary Murdoch and the Wilderness Committee. They don't want to see this old-growth forest destroyed. And Nat Tanner says the Douglas fir trees on Vancouver Island are the only ones standing in Canada.
One of the most biologically diverse ecosystems in all of Canada. It is the most endangered ecosystem in all of Canada.
This would be a place that marble murrelets could nest. And marble murrelet is a really endangered species.
Gary Murdoch says if the trees are killed, the other species that live here will also die.
Well, the red-legged frog is an endangered species. The screech owl is an endangered species. And the Pacific sideband snail is an endangered species. And that's just three of many.
Elected officials on the island also spoke to Nanoose First Nations, asking them not to cut down the fir forest.
And what I'm saying, though, is maybe we should work together more for the common good of the area.
And maybe it's time that part of that is protected on private property because we have no access to those private properties. And we think it's unfair that we have to continually be put on the side burner.
Brent Edwards and the Nanoose First Nations can begin cutting any day now. They have a 4-year license to cut down this forest. They are just waiting for the price to be right to get the most bang for their buck to cut the fir tree down. Wayne Roberts, APTN National News, Nanoose Bay Forest on Vancouver Island.